Hello, 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 my friends. Hello, it's Jodie Harvala, psychic medium, spiritual teacher. I am here doing my 31 days of spirit today. And make sure you can hear me. We are talking about the angels today. So I'm going to hang out just for a second. Let people jump on. As you are coming on, go ahead and say hello so I know you can see me and hear me and all is well. Then we'll get going on talking about the angels. It is amazingly beautiful here today. Oh my gosh, this is a great day to open the windows in your house. It is beautiful. Of course, we have a cold storm coming in tomorrow and Saturday, which also is a good day to open your windows, even when it's windy, and let that stale air go, let the fresh air in. But wow, it's going to be like 50. I bet it gets almost to 60 today. We'll see. Yes, the angels are always a good topic, aren't they? It's always fun to have a little review and remind yourself to call them in. Hello, hello, hello. What's the weather like where everyone is at? Got to talk about the weather. We usually have, a foot of snow by now. I wanted to see actually what the weather was here. Hold on. Let me see how high it is. It is like I'm in a t-shirt in my she shed in the winter, which is not normal. Yeah, it's 52 already, so definitely going to get near 60 this afternoon. At least in Fargo-Moorhead it is. It is gorgeous. It's always sunny in Phoenix. That's why I love to visit. Hello, hello. 44 Mandan. Yep, I was wondering if Bismarck Mandan usually gets just a titch warmer than us. Yeah, it is just beautiful. It's like a end of the summer, beautiful fall day today. I love it. And I'm a skier and I'm a winter girl. I'm a snow girl. I love the snow. I love to ski. I love to cross country ski. I have cross country skis waiting to be used. But I'm still loving this too, because it'll make our winter much, much shorter. And after last year with such a harsh winter, I think Mother Nature was like, okay, I was kind of mean last year. Let me give you a nice fall. So it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. Oh, Linda, you're going to be tired. Hey, let me know if 3 o'clock still works today, hon. If you're on a field trip, that might not work for you. I'll message you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Actually, it's good afternoon now. It's 12:02. So we're in afternoon. 51. Yeah, no wind here either. We do have a ton of, we have a big cold front coming in where it's supposed to be record winds Friday night, Saturday. Again, I'm okay with that this time of year. I don't like not having snow for Christmas. So I do hope we get a little bit of snow. And like I said, I'm a skier. I like to have some snow so we can ski. We did go skiing last weekend just for a little bit. It's kind of icy though. And I'm kind of a chicken on ice. So we didn't ski much, but it was nice to get down the hills a little bit. All right. How many of you work with the angels? So if you are signed up, you know what? I should put this link in before I start. Hold on one second. Let me put this link in just in case. I know many, many, many of you are signed up. So tomorrow goes out our email with the prizes, which I forgot to bring today. Goes out with our prizes. It also goes out with all the links to the videos we've done so far. And we've added a couple little PDF things. There's one that's going to be on a little angel number cheat sheet. I believe I'm pretty sure we're doing the angel one too. Of kind of like the main 7 angels that I learned about when I first started. So if you're not signed up for the email list, I put the link in there, get your butt signed up, because that's how you get into the prizes and stuff. And then sharing, commenting, we keep putting names in this big box. So make sure that you are doing that so you can get into the prize drawings. Okay. And you'll get the recordings as well. All right. How many of you work with angels? Call them in, call them by name. talk to them, connect with them, pray to them. Tell me a little bit where you guys are. I will talk about some specific angels, but I want to kind of talk about how I work with them and how I started working with them, because I think when you first start, and even after you've done it for a while, you kind of forget some of your tools, right? That's why I'm doing this. Because I think people forget that we have this unseen, to some people can see them, unseen energy support system. And for a lot of times, if you aren't great at asking for help or great at asking for support, sometimes asking your angels is a great step. I know a lot of very independent women that don't like asking for help. First of all, I tell you, get over that. Second of all, I would say start somewhere. And a lot of times it's great to start with spirits. It's great to start with your angel systems, or your angel spirit team. And it starts to create a different energy and a higher vibe, which helps your vibration raise, which helps everything. And so I very much encourage working with angels, even if you don't really know how to work with them. I'll tell my story about that in a couple stories, because I think they're hilarious stories. And it was really fun when I first started. Kimberly says, I do call in my angels every day. I love my angel. I do all the time. Calling my angels all the time. I love that, you guys. I forget. Yep, we do forget. Need to learn more. I love when the angels give me numbers. I know mine give me numbers a lot too. Mine give me a lot of license plates. I get a lot of messages on license plates. Gabriel, I work with Gabriel too, Alice. I don't really use my angels, but would like to learn more about it. You bet, sister. Raphael and Mary, beautiful. That's great, Jen. She uses it when she's got a tough coworker to deal with. She calls in her angel to help. And that's, you can do that. You can do that. Okay, remember, you guys, just a little I don't know, announcement. Just remember, if someone pops in our live and wants to do a reading, or they have a message and blah, 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 and they're kind of creepy feeling, like, don't trust them. Don't give them money. They don't belong to me. I don't know them. They're just spammers. So I'll block them as soon as I see them, or if you see them, please block them. Okay. We've been pretty good. We haven't had too much problem with them, but I just want people to know those are never attached to us. We don't, they just pop in. And there's not a whole way to do anything until we see them. Okay. And so just found out at Sunny's retreat, her guardian angels, Michael, love it. Tony works with her angels. I know you do. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, see this Kaylee, a divine chick. We're getting rid of her. Don't use her. Okay, there we go. I think I got her. So funny. Every time I bring it up, someone pops in and then we can just block her. Thanks, angels. See, angels are helping me. Mine help me bring in tips when you bartend. Absolutely, sister. License plates for you too. Chat with yours in the car. Yeah, and that's okay. A Facebook user says, I'd love to learn more about the angels. I can't say I know them by name or do I call on them, but would love to learn more. Perfect. You're in the best place today. My guardian angel reminds me to have fun. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, beautiful. So it sounds like a lot of you have at least some experience with angels. So when I first started in this work, I've always believed in angels. Always. I think I've always talked to them. I don't know that I was necessarily present that they were angels. I just always have known there's something out there. Even when I was a kid, and I just always trusted it. So when I started to learn more about it, it was such a fun thing to learn about for me. I was like, oh my gosh, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. I learned a lot of my angel stuff through Sunny Dawn Johnston. Most of you know I work a lot with her. She's a mentor of mine, all that kind of stuff. She's got a couple of great books, which I can order some if people are interested in that. And so she taught me a lot. And what I've noticed is a lot of us teach about kind of the 7 main angels, but there's hundreds of thousands of angels. That's what I've learned. I met this woman. I can never remember her first name, but her last name was Rainbow, which I thought was so cool. And that was her real name. And it was at a workshop oh, of course, I'm going to forget his name. John Holland, who is a fantastic, fabulous medium. And I went to learn about mediumship, and this Rainbow chick was talking, and she goes, you know, there's thousands upon thousands of unemployed angels. Please put them to work. And that has stuck with me for years, because a lot of people have this belief that they don't want to call on the angels because they want to make sure so-and-so has the angels. Like they'll be like, oh, my angels, you should go help Sally over there. She needs you more. Except there's plenty for everyone. Of course there is. It's energy, it's spirit. There is plenty of angelic help for all of us. The other thing about angels is they can be with me and they can be with a billion other people too. And that was so helpful to me, because I definitely was someone that would be like, oh my gosh, go help them. They need so much more help. I'll figure it out, but go help them. And what I started to really understand was that there's plenty for all of us. And you can call in angels for anything. And that always was so comforting to me. My friend Troy Parkinson, he used to do mediumship. I don't know if he still does, honestly. And he would laugh at me when he would do readings on me, because he's like, geez, you bring like a million people, like a million angels with you. And I'm like, yeah, I like to feel safe. I really like to feel safe in my spirit work. I really like to feel safe in life. Like safety is a thing for me. And he would just laugh. He's like, you just fill up the room with your team. And I'm like, hell yeah, why wouldn't I? And so I encourage people, call in angels for all sorts of stuff. One of the things that I think a lot of people talk about is just the learning of the trust piece, and trusting that the angels are there, trusting that they're supporting you, trusting that they're helping. You know, we still have free will, so it's still our life. So they can't necessarily fix everything, but they can definitely be of support. And really cool stuff happens when you start to really play. And I do think playfulness is very helpful when you're working with your team of angels. Not that you can't call on them when you're in the depths of the hard stuff, because I do that too. But I think it opens up so much opportunity and so much fun. And when Foster was like 4, and I've told this story many, many times, but it's such a good proof story, because I liked proof too. And it was a huge blizzard in Fargo, huge blizzard. And I had tickets for the Blenders, who are this a cappella group in Fargo that I've grown up with. I love them. I love to go see their Christmas show. And I thought it would be a really fun show to take Foster to. And he was only 4, so I knew he wouldn't stay for the whole thing, but I thought it would be fun. He was really into music when he was little. And so it was blizzarding it out. And I was like, all right, angels, you know what? If you're real and you're really here to help me, you know what? I want a front row parking in front of the Fargo Theater tonight when I take Foster to this concert. And that's almost impossible, because the Fargo Theater is on Broadway. The parking sucks on Broadway. And this was years ago, before we even had like the parking ramps and stuff. And I was like, this will be proof to me. And Foster and I left. Took us forever to get downtown, because again, it was a full-on blizzard, like big fun flakes of snow. And I pulled up in front of the Fargo Theater, and sure as shit, there was front row parking. And I was like, oh my God, I have the best angels. And we stayed for the concert. And when it was time to go, I could run out and start my car. And then I could get my kid and get in the car, and we left. It was amazing to me. Sometimes I'll play with them on 13th Avenue. There's like 9 stoplights, and I'll be like, all right, angels, come on, let's get some green lights going. And I'll get green lights the whole way. Some days I don't. And usually if I see a red light, I had another psychic tell me one time that if I'm getting all the red lights, it's because I need to sit and I need to take a breath, and I need to take a minute, and I need to slow down. So there's lots of different ways that spirit can bring that, but I love to play with parking angels. I always get good parking. Always. I always get good parking no matter where I'm at. I might need to drive around a couple times, but I will always get good parking. And I almost always get front row parking. And my husband and I fight with that because he's like, well, you should park farther away because you get more exercise. And I was like, it's 30 below. I'll take the front row. Thank you very much. And so we play a little bit with the parking angels. I can go to Sedona, Arizona, which is really hard to find parking there. So hard to find parking there because it's very busy now. And I can always get a parking spot. And if I don't get a parking spot at the first trail, then I will be led to the trail that has the parking open for me. So I have very good parking angels. So I always tell people, start with that. If you don't know where else to start with parking angel. But I have angels for all sorts of stuff. I have angels for my work. I have angels for my personal life. I have angels for my money. I got angels for my health. I got, I call on Archangel Michael, which is an angel that almost all of us that teach about angels talk about. He is kind of that angel of protection. I call him in to help me maintain my energy. I don't like to feel like I need to protect myself from something because that's not how it feels, but he definitely helps me maintain my energy so I'm not taking on everyone else's stuff. So I actually call in Archangel Michael, and how I do it is so simple. I am very basic. And so I call his energy in all around me like a big blue bubble. I see that in my head. The trick for me to helping me maintain my energy and calling in Archangel Michael actually was to breathe in his light. It was such an awareness. I remember talking with Sunny about this, and I was like, listen, I call in Michael every day. I still feel so tired emotionally and all this kind of stuff. And so we were kind of going through what I did each day. And she's like, I don't think you're actually receiving his energy or receiving that light. And so take a breath in so you actually receive it. That was the little quarter turn that I needed. It made all the difference to me. And so I will breathe in that energy of Archangel Michael, or I actually see him kind of come into my body sometimes. I don't know how to explain that. It's just the light. And it's such a beautiful thing because I can actually feel the energy of it. I often feel him put a hand on my shoulder. And then I have Gabriel, who's my guardian angel. And I'll get to that in just a second, Sandy. My guardian angel. And I breathe that in, and I breathe in my spirit team. And it took me a long time to figure out who my spirit team was. And so I wouldn't worry necessarily about that at first. I would just assume that you have a spirit team because everyone has a spirit team. Everyone has a guardian angel. And I would just start to breathe that energy in every morning. I always recommend doing it in the morning. We all teach that because it's before we're full of shit. So we want to have our energy as clean and aligned in the morning because that helps us with the rest of the day. And so I do feel like calling in your angels is a great step. Calling in a parking angel. And I teach everyone about parking angels. My sister-in-law and I went on a trip, and she's a completely different lifestyle than me. And I started talking about my parking angel, and she was kind of doing like side eye to me, like, yeah, okay. And by the end of the weekend, she's like, all right, can I have a parking angel? I'm like, oh yeah, everyone can have a parking angel. You just got to call them in. And so we joke about that now that we have these great parking angels. I think there are angels that very much walk this earth. I think I've met them several times. One of my favorite stories about it, though, was I worked at this acupuncture office, and me and one of the coworkers were doing energy work on someone that we had no business doing energy work on. And we both knew we shouldn't do energy work on this person because we weren't experienced enough, and we both tend to break some rules, so we did it anyways. And the energy in the room was awful, and it was awful. And I called my teacher, and I was like, oh my God, we totally slimed this room. We shouldn't have been working on this person. He had told me I shouldn't be working on this person. I just hadn't had enough experience. And I was like, I got to clean up this room. When the boss comes back, they're going to know, they're going to feel it. They're going to be pissed. Like, you got to help me. And his suggestion was get some holy water. And whether you're religious or into it or anything does not matter. Holy water works. It's a great clearing thing. You just get some in a little spray bottle. So anyways, at the time, I'm not Catholic. I had no idea how to get holy water. And I used to stop at Stop and Go and get a little cappuccino every day. And I love the woman that worked there. And we would always sit and chat a little bit. So I was talking to her, and I was like, hey, and it was just her and I in the store. It was only her and I. There was no other cars outside. It was just her and I. So I took the moment and I was like, so are you Catholic? And she kind of laughed and she's like, kind of. And I was like, so if I needed, and in my head, I'm like, oh my God, please don't ask me why. Please don't ask me why. But I was like, if I needed some holy water, how would I go about doing that? And she kind of looked at me and she kind of laughed and she goes, well, that's a funny question. I'm like, yeah, I know. I just need some holy water. And within a minute, the most beautiful man, and she agreed with me, the most beautiful man we had ever seen came from the back of the store. Beautiful. I've never seen another man like that. He was beautiful. And he looked at me and he smiled and he had these big bright eyes and he was just this big tall, oh, he was beautiful. And he said, oh, you just need to go down to that big church on Broadway, take a bottle, go into the building and they'll help you get some holy water. He goes, and that'll help you. And then he left. And I just looked at him and I was just staring at him and she was staring at him and he left and she's like, how the fuck did he get in here? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that was an angel. And she kind of looked at me and I looked at her and she goes, I think so too. You need to leave now. It just scared her. It was so funny. But I was like, pretty sure I just met an angel. He was beautiful. And so I went to the Catholic church, which is a whole nother story. And I got my holy water and we sprayed the room down and it worked so beautifully. So if you have little kids that get scared at night, put holy water in a spray bottle and have them spray the room because it's a very easy tool to use. But that was one time. I have many clients that have met angels, especially if they're on a medical journey or they have cancer or something like that. The angels will come in for them. So you can call angels in when you're sick. You can call angels in when you're well and really doing well. I call in a lot of playful angels anytime I'm on vacation. Nikki and I have had some amazing fun things happen when we're on vacations together. And it's so funny because we know the angels are playing and having fun with us. So Archangel Michael is definitely one that I call in. Another thing that you can do is if you don't know who your Archangel Michael is, or who your Archangel Michael is, who your angel is, your guardian angel. So our guardian angel is not a loved one. Our loved ones are our guardians, yes, but they're not our guardian angel. Our guardian angel is birth to death. They are angels. They have not been on earth. They are angels. And a fun way that I teach, like at my retreats, my fall retreat and stuff, is you can get yourself in a state and just be nice and calm. Just be kind of quiet your mind. If you're in it really super scattered, it's not going to work as well. And you can close your eyes and you can ask yourself, okay, if I had a guardian angel and I knew on some level that guardian angel was with me, do I feel their presence to my left, to my right, in front of me, or behind me? And just kind of see if you can notice where your attention goes. So my attention goes over to my left. And because I know now that that's where my guardian angel is. Okay. And when I tune into that, I'm like, oh, okay. So I can feel something. I don't know what it is. I feel it to my left. Does it feel big or does it feel small? And to me, it feels big. So I'm like, okay, so it feels big to me. And does it feel more female? Does it feel more male? To me, it feels more male. And so, and I know mine is male now. And then I'll say, does it by chance have a name? And then just see what your first, the name that comes to your head, even if it doesn't make sense for an angel name. Because we kind of have these preconceived notions of what the angel name should be. Sometimes it's Fred or Charlie or Tom or whatever. They are not, they don't care about their names. It's for us to keep track of them in our minds. Does that make sense? So you can name them anything you want to. But sometimes you'll get a name. And then you want to ask over the next 2 weeks for that name to get validated for you in some way, shape, or form. So I actually got the name of my guardian angel when I was getting a reading one time. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Which is why I don't ever give the names to people. Because when the psychic gave me the name, I was like, yeah, whatever. It didn't mean much to me. If you hear it yourself, it means so much more. If you understand the presence yourself, it means so much more. And so very seldom do I get names anyways. It's just not how my spirit works. And so I got the name and it was Gabriel. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I went back to work and the phone rang. And I answered the phone. I'm like, hey, it's Jodie Harvala. Can I help you? And this guy's like, yeah, this is Gabriel. And I like dropped the phone and I was like, holy shit, is my angel calling me? Like, what the hell? It was so odd. And I picked up the phone and I'm like, I'm sorry, I dropped the phone. Who is this? And he's like, yeah, it's Gabriel. Can I talk to Renee? And I was like, sure. Hold on a second. And I was like, Renee, who the hell is Gabriel? And she's like, oh, it's a client of mine. And I was just like deer in the headlights. And she's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I'll tell you when you get off the phone. And in the meantime that she was talking to him, I'm texting my little psychic friend. I'm like, what the hell just happened? And she's like, oh, isn't that fun? It's just validation. And I was like, does that actually fucking happen? Oh my God. It just blew me away. And so sometimes it's not going to be, I needed drama at the time in my life. So everything was very dramatic. But it was such great proof. And I just thought, okay, I'm going to go with that. And the proof can come in a million different ways. So I don't like to plant a lot of seeds on that. But I would have you just kind of sit quiet, notice where you feel the biggest presence of energy around you. It almost feels like maybe a pressure. Sometimes it feels like someone's standing next to you. Once I did figure out that I had a guardian angel, the other side of that was really funny is I'd be walking down the sidewalk and I'd be like, who in the hell keeps following me? Because I felt like someone following me for 2 weeks. And I asked my friend Wes at the time, I'm still friends with him, but I asked Wes and he started laughing. He goes, well, it's your guardian angel. You're just aware of them now. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me. Because I think sometimes kids feel their angels. I think we feel our guardian angels and we get freaked out by it instead of sitting a little bit deeper into the energy of it to know that it's soft and it's loving and it's supportive and they've been with you your whole life and all of those different things. So I've had some really fun stories around angels and I call on them all the time. One of the things I love to say is, all right, angels, surprise and delight me. And I just wait and see what happens for the day. And I don't put a lot of details into it. I just said, surprise and delight me today. Let's have some fun. Because it helps my mind focus and tune into the fun energy instead of, whatever else is coming up for me that day. If I'm having a really bad morning, I'll just stop and I'll be like, all right, you know what, angels? I need a little help raising my vibration. Surprise and delight me. Let's see what magic can happen today. That's why I like magic. That's why I like it, because it easily can shift up my vibration. Okay, let's see. Sometimes I know they hear and help me. Other times I ask for serious help and feel like nothing happens to help and wonder why. I think sometimes our spirit, and I get that because I get that question a lot. I think sometimes we're meant to walk through some really tough things, and I don't think this is you, Cheryl, but I think sometimes people think, well, my angel should just fix it. Like we just shouldn't have bad things happen in life. And that's just not the way it works. And so when we're really, really struggling and like the help isn't coming and you're like, what the fuck? Like I've called on my angels and like this isn't happening. Sometimes it's because you're in something where your spirit's learning something and you're expanding into something. And maybe it's more of you need to ask for people help, or maybe you need to take some action, or maybe it's just a timing piece and you got to wait it out a little bit. And maybe sometimes you don't have control over what's going on. It's about somebody else. And that's tough. And so there's lots of different ways. And when you're in a higher vibe and life is better, you notice the help more because you're in a higher vibration. When you are in a low vibration and it's really hard and life is really hard, that's harder to notice that they're actually supporting you. Okay. Linda said, me too, Friday night, downtown Fargo, didn't know where I was going to get to your Fearless weekend, and they led me to a spot right next to the door. Yep, parking angels are great. Kayla said, haha, I love that story. I used to get a bottle of holy water all the time. Yeah, holy water is great. It's a great tool. Wow, Sandy, that's great. She said the archangels helped me understand and accept a broken relationship of 15 years, and they kept me from dwelling on the situation. Every human being, if you are alive, you have a guardian angel, Jennifer. Yep. You might not be aware of them, or that other person might not be aware of them, but yes, everyone comes from the moment that they're alive to their moment of death. They definitely have that. Hello, Miss Danny. Good to see you. Selma said, I'm starting to ask angels for everything, like you mentioned before. The parking angels, it's keeping me in the consciousness of being aware. Yes. And I do think asking your angels, I'm talking to my angels all day long about all sorts of stuff. And I know that sounds funny, but I spend a lot of time by myself. And I'm in my she shed by myself a lot. So I'm like, all right, angels, which day should I be doing my classes on? Or, okay, angels, I know there's some new stuff coming up. This doesn't feel right. Like, give me some inspiration or give me some direction. I often ask for direction, and I ask for direction on how to find my solutions. This is also great. When I was, my dad got sick, and oh my gosh, they were in such a mess because we didn't realize for a good 6 months, he had kind of, his mental capacity had shifted a lot, and he played it so well, we just didn't realize that things weren't getting taken care of. And at one point he needed, I think it's Medicaid. And I helped with a lot of that paperwork kind of stuff. And I remember being reminded by two really beautiful people in my world that, I need to keep intending that helpful people are all around me. I always have helpful people around me. I started that affirmation when he got sick, and I continued it. And I met more helpful people in that time than I have my entire life, because I was very open to the help, right? And I remember telling Spirit, I was like, all right, angels, I really need an expert on Medicaid. I really, really, really need an expert. I feel better with the experts. I want someone that actually knows what they're doing. I really need some help with this. And I just kind of put the prayer up every morning, every day, all day, just kind of put it up there. And one day I went and cleared for one of my real estate people, cleared a house that she was selling. And my spirit said, you need to go buy a new bra. And there was a place out West Fargo for curvy girls. And I was like, I don't really want to get a bra today. I hate bra shopping. And my spirit kept going, you need to go get a bra, go get a bra. And I was like, I don't really want to go get a bra today. And they're like, you're out here, go get a bra. I was like, all right, I guess I got to go get a bra. So I'm naked, she's feeling me up, putting these bras on. Somehow we got to talk about my dad. And then I was looking for an expert in Medicaid. And she stopped and she looked at me and she goes, honey, I'm an expert. I worked for them for 7 years. I know every answer you need to know. What do you need? In fact, bring your paperwork in and I'll help you fill it out. And I just started crying. I was like, oh my God, I really don't need the bra. I need you. And she just busted out laughing. And she's like, well, you're going to get a bra too, but let's, what do you need help with? And she absolutely was my angel that day. And actually for a few days after that, because I was able to ask her some questions. And so helpful people all around, your angels hear that, they find the helper angels, and then they all come together and then they bring you together. Like, it's amazing when you think about it. And so it always makes me laugh when people don't trust it, because I'm like, do you know how much work they have to go through to get all of us to come together? Like, think about that. I had a woman one time, I can't remember how long ago it was, but I was doing a reading and she was very much fighting the reading and I was bringing a lot of proof to her. I don't often do that, but she was so stubborn about taking in the information. And finally I was like, I don't know, there's something about the railroad. He worked on the railroad, something like that. And she goes, oh yeah, he worked the rails. And right then this big ass huge train outside came by and honked their train horn for minutes. And we all just sat and stared out the window because it was the timing was so odd and so perfect. And one of the other girls in the group looked at her and she's like, if you can't believe that now, then you just need to go home. It was so funny. But I was like, imagine all the shit that had to come together for that train to come by and have their horn going for that long. It was amazing. So many cool things. Okay, let's see what else you got. Yep, angels definitely show up in those like car accidents and things like that. I asked the angels, this is great. This is a great subject too. Alicia said, I ask angels to give me messages in my dreams or give me directions to health issues and they pull through all right. How did I get by without them for so long, right? My husband does that. He's a dreamer. And so if he's got a problem in front of him, and my oldest son does this a little bit too. They have two different ways that they do it. So my husband will ask for help before he goes to sleep at night. I think he calls it his wizard or something. And then by morning, he's got an answer. He's got a solution. And both of them, my oldest and my husband, if they, let's say they're out fixing the truck or something and they can't figure it out, they're like, I just got to go away for a little bit. And they go and they lie down or they take a nap or something. And then all of a sudden they have the solution. So sometimes it does help to ask before you go to sleep at night. Yes, yes. Do the angels help when I have something waiting to be found? Is that guides or angels? I think it's both. I would consider that your team. But when I lose things, I definitely ask for, I'll just say, all right, angels, like help me find this, or I don't always say, help me find it. I always say, put it where I can see it. Put it where I can see it. Cause it can be right in front of you and you won't see it. Yes. Rhonda at Curvy Divas. Fantastic. She's great. Yes. Yep. We don't care if you're late. We're just happy you're here. Yep. Big obnoxious signs. I say that all the time. I really needed that when I first got into this work. I still love getting signs the most out of anything in the world. I love it. I love it. I've met some teachers before where, you know, we get almost used to it and like they don't get as excited about it. And I'm like, oh, I never want to be like that. I always want to be excited by it. I just think it's so fun to get signs and help and support from your angels. Yep. Selma said, I have to listen to my spirit more often because she finds herself getting something. And then she says, yeah, but I don't want to. And then she gets home and tells herself and figures out that it was spirit trying to tell you something. So if you get a little hit to do something a couple times, you should probably do it. At least try it and see what happens. As long as it's not something your asshole is telling you to do. Yeah, sit quiet. Do that exercise I taught at the beginning, Pam. All right. Oh, that's cool, Kathy. She is a woman that has passed away and the car in front of her had her name on the license plate. Yep. Samantha, she said, convinced the knitting group I started was angels bringing us together. I'm not sure if they need me or I need them, but it has been wonderful for all of us. Yeah, you needed each other. That's the piece. Yep. Put it where I can see it. Make it big and obnoxious and put it where I can see it. I think humans we have so much coming at us all the time. It's one of the reasons that all of these pieces I keep talking about, it's why I meditate. It's why I call in my angels. It's why I get quiet. It's why I've learned to be quiet. It's why I don't always have noise on around me, because I really want to know that I can feel my team on my side. Because for me, I was like, I think it's sad if people don't know their team, like come take a class, because I think that for me, life is hard enough. I don't need to do it all by myself. If you're in a place where you're lonely, that's a great time to get to know your team. I had this a few years ago, and it was just kind of like everybody was doing other things. Everyone was just kind of taken out of my life in one way or another. And I was really with myself for the first time, probably in my life. I mean, I still have the kids in Eli, but that was about it that I spent time with. And I just really spent a lot of time getting to know my spirit team in that year. And it's been so helpful. My business grew. My friendships were healthier. I've made some really healthy decisions that year. Like all this cool stuff happened because I allowed that quiet time. Okay. It is easy to say it's a coincidence, but I don't think most of the time, I don't think it is. Very much. Yep. I do think women, women's spirit teams bring them other women. I really do. I really believe that. And I also think they sometimes will help take people out of your life too, or get you to the place that you can let go of some different people. Because it's not always, we sometimes have these toxic people in our life, and we have a lot of obligation to them, whether it's friends or family. And I do think sometimes it's not always great. And so I've really had a lot of help with that piece, which I don't like at the time. Sometimes if you're in your shit and you're growing and expanding and you don't really like it, it's kind of annoying, and you kind of yell at your angels a little bit. And then once you're through it, you're like, oh, yeah, thank you. That's really nice. Thanks. Yep. Oh, Selma, that's awesome. I didn't know you worked there. I love Crystal Rock. They are the best people. That's awesome. Very cool. Okay. I want to go through these super, super fast because you'll get this in your email too. Okay. So some of the main angels that I work with is Archangel Michael, and he is all about protection. To me, he shows up at a big, in a big, bright blue light, but angels can come to you in whatever color they come to you. So this is what I learned. It's what I'm comfortable with. It's my experience. You might have your own experience. So don't get super tied to the exact details, because I want you to very much trust your own intuition when you're working with your own angel team. Okay. Archangel Jophiel is all about the beauty in life. Okay. Jophiel typically is sometimes shows up as golden or yellow. And to me, it's always about seeing the earth and seeing life through the eyes of beauty, which I think is really cool. And I don't think a lot of us do that. I think I hear it all the time. The world is so crazy. The world is going to shit, blah, blah, blah. And after this summer and seeing all these national parks and meeting all these beautiful people and having this time to kind of explore a little bit, I'm like, that is a lie. There is so much beauty in the world. There's so much beauty in the world. One of the angels that I worked with for the summer to be able to open up and see that again is Archangel Jophiel. Okay. Then we have Archangel Shamuel, all about unconditional love. To me, she comes in as a pink color. Again, might be a different color for you guys, so don't worry about that piece. But to me, she comes in pink, and she not only helps you love others unconditionally, but yourself. I actually worked with Shamuel a lot, and when I'm doing some inner work, or maybe I fuck something up, or I was mean or something, like that's the angel that I'll call in to learn that I can do it different, but also for some forgiveness piece too. Gabriel is one of my angels that I work with a lot. It's communication. Archangel Gabriel, I will call him in before classes, before I need to speak, before my lives, before I do my psychic parties, before my mentoring sessions. Gabriel to me is huge and white, and kind of channels through me is how I feel it, but great for communication. Okay. Zadkiel, I also use a lot with my clearing. Zadkiel is all about forgiveness and release. So if my clients are really struggling to release something, or they got some emotions they need to release, or even some energy in their bodies, Archangel Zadkiel is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful for that. Uriel also is this red energy, and it's all about transmutation and insight and clarity, peace, vision problems. There's all sorts of information on these, which I really, really love. The other piece that I put in, and I do think we have a link in the email that's coming, and I also put the link in tonight. Years and years and years ago, I was clearing a space for somebody, and she kept talking about in between her shoulder blades hurt, and she had all this shoulder and neck, and she was just so uncomfortable. And Spirit showed me her angel wings, and I'm like, dude, your angel wings are like beat to shit. They look terrible. And I said, I think you need new angel wings. And it was such an interesting, fun session. It was just a client that was always open to my work. And so we sat and we gave her, we took down the old angel wings and we gave her these new angel wings. And over the years, it's become this beautiful session that I do. Typically, I've saved it for my retreats and my private mentoring people, or if I'm guided to do it. If it comes up, I always bring it up. but that was something that I was really pushed to put on my holiday celebration page for people going into the new year. I think we've gone through a lot the last couple of years. And so if you've been doing a lot of transformation and you're growing and you're expanding, you got all this stuff going on, think about having an upgrade on your angel wings. That's what we call it, just an angel wing upgrade. And I did put the link in there. And I think there's some people that I can feel even on our live right now, and maybe people that are going to watch the replay, that might be a beautiful gift for yourself for the holidays. I like to do them around either the new moon or the full moon. Like someone got one yesterday and I was like, what are you more guided to, full moon or new moon? And she really was guided for the full moon. And then I'll just do a little touch up with it once we go into the new year. But I think there's some people that could really be helped energetically from that. So if you have a lot of pain in between your shoulder blades, you might want to think about that service. Yeah, Tony, she's like, love getting my angel wing upgrade at the retreat. I know, it's such a cool thing. And I'm doing it with a group in Sedona this spring too. Yep, the list will come in your email, Kathy. As long as you guys are signed up for the 31 days, which I put that link in here too, you'll get the list of the angels. Selma said, thanks for clarifying the colors, because that did confuse me. Sometimes I get into my head. Yeah, I think I really feel like I think a lot of teachers teach it one way and they forget to tell you that you might experience it different. So I see blue a lot for Archangel Michael, but I have a client that she sees him as full on beautiful white. And I'm like, then you go with white. I get a lot of rainbow colors where my clients are like, nah, I see red. I'm like, well, then you go with red, because I think we can teach it the way we learned it because that's comfortable to us. But I leave a lot of room for interpretation. So yeah, the colors might be different. Yes, Sandy, thank you. That's the book I was talking about. Invoking the Archangels from Sunny Dawn Johnson. And I can order a bunch of those if you guys want me to. Just let me know. You can get them from her site too, of course, but I can order some and get them sent out as well. But yeah, I love that book. That was a very helpful book. I still pull it up sometimes too. Anne asked, do you think our deja vu moments are from our angels? I do. I do think they kind of let us know that we're on our right path. Sometimes when people close their eyes, they'll see, I was in a meditation one time and I saw this beautiful, huge eyeball looking at me. And I was like, what the hell is that? And I happened to be in a class at the time with Wes, and he just laughed. He goes, oh, that's just your guardian angel making sure you're doing okay. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that. But it was so shocking at first because it wasn't something that I expected. Janet, that's cool. She lost her diamond for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden it was right in front of her. No way she lost it right there, but the angels put it back for her. Yep, I've had that happen too. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you, sister. We're talking about angels today. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? I know I've been talking a lot today. Any other questions that I could possibly answer? That's just a little touchstone on angels. There's always a lot to teach about angels, but I thought it would be fun. Tell you some stories so you can be open to some stories yourself, give you a little basic information. All of these, our little angel guide will come to you. Will come to you in your email. I have to look, Alicia. Hold on a second. That would be Archangel Zadkiel is the one to call on for lost items. He's big and purple typically. Finding lost objects. Yep. And I wouldn't say they're lost. I would change your language and say, put it where I can see it and see. But sometimes you lose things because you're meant to lose things, because maybe you need to change your definition of what it is. You need to change how things look for it. So some things are meant to be lost. I think sometimes I lost my wedding ring years ago, which Eli is still pissed about. But I know how I walked into marriage and what our marriage is now is just so different than when we were young. Plus I don't wear a lot of jewelry anymore. I like the energy just to move through me. So I struggle wearing jewelry, but it made sense to me when I heard that. I was like, oh yeah, we've had a lot of shifts in our marriage, and good ones, like good, because we've grown, we were young when we met. So I think lost items sometimes are meant to be lost. Okay, what other questions or comments? You guys have shared a lot of good stories. If you're watching the replays, make sure you go read everyone's stories, because I think that helps you guys to hear it so you can recognize it when it happens to you. And if you don't know where to start, just start with the parking angels. I work with a lot of mentee people for mentorship and coaching and stuff. And that's one of the things that I really am saying all the time. I'm like, let's ask your angels. Let's ask your angels. Did you ask? Did you ask? Let's call in a money angel. Let's call in the spirit of your business and the angel that helps you with your business. Because I get a lot of small business people. I definitely worked with clients and calling in their angels if they're sick or they have physical things like that. So I think it's really fun to start just experimenting and playing with them. They love to play. Spirit loves to play. And they really bring you to different places to have really cool things happen or meet really cool people. Nikki and I, we always kind of laugh because when we get on the road, we know magical shit's going to happen. And we always say like, oh, we're Nikki and Jodie, cool shit happens to us all the time. And it does. And we've had the most fun on our vacations because we're always open up to the magic. Oh, Carlene, I'm so glad you said this. So she said, I don't want you to feel upset about it either. I'm not sure what is happening or how related to this topic, but I'm overwhelmed with emotion right now. I'm just crying. When I really tune into the angels and I can really open up to it, I will cry too. The angels are such a high vibration, and it's such a clear energy, and it's unconditional love. And what you're feeling, Carlene, is just, and it's almost overwhelming for people. It's just the overwhelming love. You're just feeling their love, Carlene. They're just letting you know that they're there. I'm so glad you said that out loud, because a lot of my clients struggle with that piece, and it's not meant to be a struggle thing. It just means that they're bringing in all this light and all this love to you, and your allowance might be here, and so they're shoving it through. So just open yourself up a little more, and that will help it move to you and through you. Okay, I'm so glad you said something. I mean, I know it's not always fun to cry, but that's a good thing. Just means your angels are right there. Alice said, interesting, you said you see Gabriel as white. You had mentioned the different colors. I simply could not come up with what color to associate with Gabriel. Good. Maybe he's white for you too. Yep, and that's a great point. So Kathy says, I'm freezing cold right now with goosebumps, and that's a loved one coming through, but not an angel. And I do now recognize if it's a loved one, like a relative, grandma, grandpa, daughter, kids, friends, whatever, that's a different vibration to me. Angels and archangels, that's a high, high, high vibration. It's something I tell a lot of people when they really are tuning into their loved ones, and they keep thinking about them as what their personality was when they were here. And maybe they were a little bit tough personality. I'm like, why would you be asking them? Go above them. Go to the angels. Go to the high, clear, clean vibrations, because you're still bringing in all this stuff from when they were alive. Go higher than that. Take your vibration higher. Okay? Because the angels are here to help you get clarity. They're helping you to see the opportunities. They're not here to fix our life. That's not the way it works. I used to get really angry because I'm like, can't you just fucking fix this? And we're still supposed to have experiences in life. We're still supposed to grow through things. We still have hard things happen, but they are there to support us through it. Okay. All right, my friends, I'm not seeing any other questions. I hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow, we're talking about wealth and abundance. And I got lots of stories on that one. Lots of different things that I've learned over the years. And so if that's a piece for you, join us tomorrow, or make sure you watch the replay, and make sure you look at the offer for the upgrade to your angel wings, because I can feel there's a few of you that it would be good for. So hopefully if you have questions on that, just send us an email. One of us will get back to you. I did not, Alicia, but I will put that on my list for you. I do think I have that somewhere on one of the days we talk about clearing and body clearing and stuff like that. So I'll talk about that, Alicia. I got it on my list. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, go check out the offer for the Angel Wing upgrade, and I will see you tomorrow at noon, and we're going to talk about wealth. Get your butts outside today. It is so nice outside. I actually have a couple girlfriends coming over for a bonfire. And I was like, well, shit, I should have done a bonfire gallery, and I just didn't think about it fast enough. So if we get a couple more of these stellar days, I might just do one just off the top of my head. So keep an eye on that. All right. Also, quick, if you're still on, if you are in my full moon group, clearing group in the membership, and you're really fine, there's several of you that come every month, and it's really been great for you. We're looking for a couple testimonials or stories, and we would love to put that on some of the stuff that we have coming up for the new year. So if you want to email me a little testimonial, I would love it. I would really, really love it. And please let me know if that is something that you can do for us, because we are gathering them right now. Okay. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow at noon. Happy day. Get outside. It's beautiful out. Go play with your angels.